This is one of my other favorite shows that I like to watch, so I'm reacting to this story
26-year-old Tracy Wofford Bunn began working as
about
a
this
waitress
lady
in Baton Rouge,
who
Louisiana.
was traveling and she
She
wanted to
arrived
move
from
where her
Milwaukee,
sister
Wisconsin 3 months earlier, looking
was
for a new
living.
start in a new city.
Tracy was a beautiful person, outgoing, fun to be with. She would do things very spur of the moment. She could say, well, tomorrow I'm going to Minnesota. Tomorrow she'd go to Minnesota. With no care whatsoever, wondering about what might happen, what would happen. No care. She knew where she was going.
Tracy and Solomon Bunn had married in 1986. 2.5 years later, the marriage was on the skids, and Tracy turned to her younger sister, Danielle, who lived in Baton Rouge.
She had spoken many times about leaving Milwaukee to sort of spread her wings and try something new, and so she just came to visit me, and we had a really good time, and I introduced her to quite a few different type people, and so she stayed with me, I think, a couple of weeks, and then she went back home and stayed about a week and a half and came back down with all of the rest of her stuff.
Tracy settled in quickly. She landed a job and even found a new boyfriend. It seemed like life was starting all over again. Then 6 months later, on the morning of April 1st, 1989, it all came crashing down.
Oh, Lord.
Outside of an apartment complex, a passerby noticed a young woman apparently asleep in the front seat of a car.
It's really sad.
It quickly became obvious that the young woman was not asleep. Tracy Wofford Bunn had been murdered.
About what time was it when you first saw the car?
It was about 8 o'clock when I first saw the car. And when I came out, it was about 8:30 to really see what was, what's lady asleep or what in the car.
Tracy had been raped and strangled to death. Oddly, investigators found no sign of a struggle. In fact, there were a number of things about the crime scene which did not seem quite right.
Clothes are ruffled up and her shoes are missing. Would you mind taking me a few shots of that? Upon examining the body, we could see that the clothes were all jumbled up in a fashion that I have seen before.
And whoever did it, why would they cross her feet like that?
Put back on them, and they either an unconscious
sick-minded person.
We also found that the stick shift was broken off in the car. It's lying on the floorboard. I still believe the vehicle could have been driven, but it would have taken somebody with expertise at doing it to drive it with the stick shift broken off like that. The motive, the main thing that has me puzzled is because there was no robbery. The jury was still on the victim, purse was there, identification. This was just a total loss of life for no reason.
For no reason.
With no physical evidence to go on, Detective Wheeler turned to the people who knew Tracy best. He started with her new boyfriend.
We were together, and we just rode around for a little while.
You were in Tracy's vehicle?
Yes, yeah. We rode around.
Well, when I spoke with the boyfriend,
I don't see any remorse on his face for his girlfriend.
1989, he dropped Tracy off at work, and he kept her vehicle. He and his cousin were riding around in the car, and he was supposed to pick Tracy up that night at 12 midnight when she got off work.
That goes to show how much he cared about her.
Unfortunately, he said a shift level broke.
I can remember an ex-boyfriend didn't pick me up from work one night, but that's another story for another day. Story time.
Man, let's go ahead and leave it here. We'll come back and get it tomorrow. Let's walk on back to your house. Tracy's gonna be mad at me.
Around midnight, Tracy called her boyfriend and learned that he had damaged the car.
Come out of here, Timothy.
She left work and walked to his cousin's house about a mile away.
I wouldn't be walking that late at night. Either gonna take Uber or get a ride.
What happened to the car?
It broke. It's broke.
How did it break?
Eric and I was just riding right there, and our whole shift just snapped off.
A stick shift doesn't just snap off.
Well, your shift just snapped. All the problems you had getting in third gear. The shift this time just snapped off.
I don't have any problems. You're the one causing the problems.
Okay.
Give me the keys. For what? So I can go get the car and take care of it.
You said what?
Give me the keys.
She was mad at him. I would be too.
Tracy walked a half mile to
And
her car.
it just goes to show how much
Police
he
estimate that she
cared
arrived
about
around
her. He didn't
12:30
even
a.m.
walk her to her car.
We know she got to the vehicle because it was locked up by her boyfriend when he left it there. And when we found the vehicle the next morning, the keys were in the vehicle. But that is the last place that we could positively say she was alive at when she arrived at the car.
An hour and a half later, Tracy's car was driven to the apartment complex where she would be found murdered the next morning.
It's
I was
so
advised
sad.
by the apartment manager that there was possibly a witness who saw the vehicle when it came into the parking lot around 1:30 a.m. And so somebody walked away
Whoever
from it
drove the
and
car,
didn't pay much
they
attention to it.
they possibly did it
I feel like Tracy Bond
and twisted
was
her
probably
feet up
killed
in the front seat
between the
like
hours
that.
of 12:30 and 1:30 in the morning.
Authorities are particularly disturbed by several unsettling details surrounding the murder. Not only had Tracy been raped and strangled, but there were second-degree burns on her thighs and on the back of her hands.
We haven't been able to determine what caused
Oh
those burns.
no.
And we've thought about every type of heating apparatus or device you could think of. We just can't find anything that would make that particular burn. We also don't understand the method of leaving the body the way it was. It was like they wanted this person to be found and they wanted everybody to see. I don't know whether these guys were involved in drugs or not, but when you have a case involving people in narcotics, if you don't deal with them in the fashion that they want you to, they'll make an example out of you.
I know someone personally that was very heavily involved in drugs, and he was, I guess he was trying to make some sort of drug transaction, and he was told that that person was the person who had murdered my sister.
By the river, man, I think one of those guys killed her, man. Let's get out of here.
Authorities did investigate a known drug dealer, but found no evidence linking him to the crime.
That is so
It's
sad.
my feeling that her boyfriend knew something
Right.
because he had her car that night while she was at work. He didn't come and pick her up from work at the agreed upon time.
Exactly.
Apparently when she went by his cousin's house to pick up the car, he told her that it was broken and that, you go on ahead, and it doesn't sound like a likely story
Exactly.
for a person who was supposed to be involved with my sister to
Like he
just
didn't
sort of throw
even
her to the
care.
wolves at 12 or 1 o'clock at night.
Tracy's boyfriend and his cousin were each given 2 polygraph examinations. They
He
both
didn't
passed
act
the
like
test.
he didn't care
and are not
anything about
considered
that lady.
suspects.
And the transmission getting in the third.
So I've worked a number of homicides, and this one I feel
Well,
has just
I hope y'all enjoyed this
of the puzzle that haven't filled in
content of
And I know it's a
the
solvable
show,
case.
the popular show called
And it's
Unsolved
frustrating
Mysteries.
for me as well as for Tracy's
And I'm
family
ending this video
to not
right
know
now.
who these
And
killers
until then,
are.
y'all stay blessed.